Okay, we've already talked about lines of symmetry and how lines of symmetry are lines that split shapes into two congruent halves. Congruent meaning they're the same size and they're the same shape. Now, it's going to take a little bit of departure, but we're going to talk about art in this case. Art has lines of symmetry too. If I were to draw a butterfly, right? And I were to draw it like this. I'm not the greatest at drawing butterflies. Butterflies. Boo. Whatever. Let's pretend this is a perfect butterfly. Okay? And I wanted to create lines of symmetry. Where would be a line of symmetry I could create? Well, if a line of symmetry is something that splits the shape into two halves and two congruent halves, then I could split it right down the middle. If this was more straight, I could split it right down the middle. Okay, that wasn't a great split, but you get it. If I split this right down the middle, I would have two sides that would be identical to each other. Okay, it would be flipped, they'd be mirrored to each other, but they would still be congruent shapes. They would be the same shape and they would be the same size. And this applies to all types of art. Art has lines of symmetry. Whenever you draw faces, you have to create them with lines of symmetry. That's why sometimes you see lines go when people are drawing faces. They draw lines down the middle and center, across and vertically. Because faces are made up of shapes, and they're both each side of the face is equal in size and shape. So you want to keep symmetry. So you have lines of symmetry, and you want to be able to keep symmetry in drawing and sculpting different things. So it's cool to see how things like math and geometry can translate to art, where you have lines of symmetry, and all the big shapes you make with art can be broken down into smaller, simpler shapes with lines of symmetry. That's pretty cool. Let me finish this face. I'm gonna finish drawing this face for you guys. This isn't going to be the best face, but it's going to be a face. Wah, 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 wah. Wee wee wah wee wee. Boo wah. Boo woo wah. Boo woo wah. Boo 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 boo. Wah 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 wah. This is hair. It's not working out. Whatever. Whatever. Face. Lines of symmetry. Great. Try it at home. Stay in school.